Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Nikki C, all the way from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we are live streaming. Super excited about celebrating. Yes, you've seen it, 150 interviews. That's 150 entrepreneurs who went through the ups, the downs, but still overcame and bring their stories here to share, to inspire, to empower, to just inject hope, possibilities, and everything that they're doing. Absolutely amazing. I am blessed and honored to be walking with all of them in community and being able to just continue this journey, and for BALM Global to have them come back. All of them in community and being able to give me 1 second because we're on a little delay because I forgot to mute my computer. So I am watching to check out the chats and make sure, but that's live. It happens. So yes, bringing our past 50 guests back. This is our third round to celebrate them and just absolutely just thank them for stepping into their purpose and doing everything that they are meant to do while still searching for anything and everything that they can possibly do to continue to empower and inspire, and that's using our voices here. So first, I want to thank our sponsors. We have Jose Escobar with the Connected Leaders Academy. We have Patrick Rude with the Dirty Little Secret Society, as well as Julie and Noah with Breathe Capital Planning. Thank you so much for continuing the support and the mission that we have here at BALM Global. If you want to know all about them and what we have going on throughout the weeks and months, we have an all-stop shop website, buildingaleadershipmindset.com. Definitely check us out, what we're doing, and how can you join this mission. So without further ado, let me get all these amazing individuals that are just waiting to come on and just again share their stories, who they are. We have the beautiful and amazing one of our ladies of leadership. She's a money master. She's the owner of bookkeeping consulting services. I met her through the Connected Leaders Academy. When we first had a conversation, we just instantly hit it off. The synergy was there. Her energy, her attitude, her go-getting spirit just left an imprint on me, and we have been running ever since, just building things. So definitely continue to check us out. But she is none other than the beautiful Yara Ortiz. Let's get her on here. Hey Yara, how are you?
Hola, hola, hey.
How's it going?
Everything is Gucci, as they say. Everything is good. I'm doing well.
Thank you so much for joining us and for being part of the BALM Global podcast family and bringing your journey, your expertise to our platform. And if you haven't seen any of our guests' full podcasts, I suggest that you go. You can go into the live section as well as into our video section, and you can check out all the 150 plus podcasts that we have recorded. So, Jada, tell us who you are, where you're tuning in from, and what do you do?
Absolutely. My pleasure to be here, first of all, again with you. Yes, Yara and Ortiz here. I am in South Carolina, originally from New York City, and I am the owner of and CEO of BCS, Bookkeeping Consulting Services, where we provide financial management services to nonprofit organizations and small businesses as well. I've been doing this for about 15 years now, and we help our clients with pretty much all that financial management entails. In other words, managing the books. So from monthly bookkeeping to creating budget, grant tracking, cash flow reporting, QuickBooks training and setup and training. And we help them, establish and maintain and structure a strong financial management foundation and develop a robust system. And this help them with funding and keep funders coming back and donate to the organization. And my services are virtual, so I can serve anyone in the United States.
Awesome, awesome, great stuff. It's happy again to even have you in the Ladies of Leadership providing these services to some of our ladies. We just had a conversation on Monday about nonprofits. Thank you for stepping up and really filling in a lot of those questions and voids for our ladies. And this is what it's about. It's about connecting with individuals that know things that you don't know so that we can share and
Mhm.
spread the resources and continue to lift each other up and provide them those services. And that's what you do. You're awesome. You're amazing. Tell us, and let me tell you, tell us, how was it being on the show? Because I know it was like your first podcast, and now how many have you had?
I actually lost count, but it was, oh, you know how nervous I was. I was just chatting you like I'm so nervous. Because your interview, like you said, was one of the first one. Oh no, it was the first one that I did before putting myself out there more and whatnot. And since then, I've done quite a few now, quite a few podcasts, live Facebook interviews. I was even in a small business spotlight with Elena Rodriguez. So yes, I'm getting a little bit more comfortable. Yes, I still get a little nervous, but a whole lot more comfortable. But it was great. The interviews, it was great. You made me feel very welcome and comfortable. We covered a little bit of my story. We spoke about finances, accounting, of course, because that's my thing. And you made me feel very comfortable, and it was just like having a conversation. And you're a great host, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you were a great interviewee. It's easy when you form these connections before you get people on your podcast, right? You want to get to know them first,
Mhm.
what they do. But we had been talking for like months before that happened. I just want to tell you that I'm absolutely proud of you for really stepping in to this space and really showcasing your voice, what you do, because you have so much to offer and you know your stuff. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. Stay right there. We're going to get our next guest up here, and then once we get everyone on, we are gonna just have again an open dialogue, and I'll put you guys on the spot. But
Of
it's gonna
course.
be all good. All right. So the next we have up, whom I've also met in the CLA, who I had a pleasure of having this gentleman speak on our platform for BALM Global at our online business mindset mania. And let me tell you, this amazing human being couldn't be in the room, but definitely put a recording and had moved the whole room. And we were just so hoping that he would be on there, but he delivered exactly what he said he was going to do. So to have him back on here on our platform to publicly thank him and just showcase again who he is and what he does and the heart that he has, it's none other than Fico Martinez. Oops, give me 1 second. Let me get him back on. I closed the green room. There he goes. How are you?
What's going on, Dave? Thank you so much, Nikki, for having me here. Wow, 150 shows.
Hmm.
That deserves a huge standing ovation. Let's go.
Thank
Amazing,
you.
amazing. Still working on my first show, so we'll get there. We'll get there. So thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for having me here and bringing me back to speak to your audience. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited to be here and meeting more people. You see, Emilio connect me today with Jara, and now we're in the same room, so we were meant to meet. So
Let
let's
me tell
go.
you, that's what happens here at Building a Leadership Mindset. There were people on yesterday that were on the show, but they didn't know each other. And that's the whole point of it, is creating more opportunities and more platforms for connections, because I'm connected to so many people. You're connected, Fico, to so many people. And why not connect people together? You never know what magic is going to happen, and really taking those opportunities to build more relationships. So tell us who you are, what you do, and where you're tuning in from.
So Federico Martinez, better known as Fico, retired United States Army officer. I retired December 2022. I'm a family man. I have 3 kids. Been married for over 22 years now. I'm in Augusta, Georgia, and I am a leadership transformation coach. Now, my program is called the 360 Leadership Transformation Experience. That's my main goal. That's what I do. But since I retired, have been dealing with a lot of affiliations. So I have a lot of connections, and it's very exciting. Um, Things are going to come up very good for the next 4 months or so. Things are looking good with what we actually bring. My main goal is to add as much value to people as I can. That's the main purpose of getting in different rooms, absorbing the knowledge, getting trained in different things, so you can take that and take it back and say, who can use this? When you go into a room, that's where you bring, okay, oh, you do XYZ. Well, I do this, or I can help you with this or that. So yeah, I just every day try to pick something from someone and bring it with me so I can share it with anyone that I come across. That's the main thing, adding value to others. Hence the name of my LLC, Growing by Adding Value, GAV, GAV. So yeah, that's what I'm going on.
Love it, love it, love it. And I just have to again publicly thank you. And I know I've thanked you before. Um, and it's something that you do differently than so many others, where when you really feel someone's passion and what they do, and you're appreciative, and your gratitude really shows when you go live and you just shout people out, give them just constant support. So I just want to thank you for changing the narrative of that. Sometimes we go and we just talk about what, we're doing and things like that, but you actually took the extra step to highlight our connection. And I've seen you do it for so many others. So I just want to say thank you for that. It's a true, what do you call that? A true value to have, like a true core value that, it's not going to take anything from me if I shout this person out and give them their flowers and their gifts. So I just want to thank you for that.
Appreciate that. Well, of course.
Awesome. And how was your time on the show?
Amazing. So again, it's different experience, different. It is strange because your audience is primarily ladies, right?
Yes.
And your speakers are ladies. So hey, it's an honor to be in with your audience. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I think each day this week we had at least one gentleman surrounded by all our ladies, and they were just loving it. So thank you so much. We're going to get our next person on here, and that is the lady that I met through the Connected Leaders Academy, AMA, and Dr. Obon Bowen, the Underdog Millionaire. It is the fabulous Afia Alfet, and I can't read your whole name here, and I don't have it down, so I love you, girl, Afia. She is absolutely awesome, and what she does with the Underdog Millionaire and taking people through those transitions, through those opportunities, and she is absolutely phenomenal. I got to see her in action. She's a fellow Toastmaster. She was a judge at the AMA competition back in 2023 when I launched my book, which is when we had more time to really meet each other and chat and share the space and the room together. So super excited to have her back on here. Without further ado, let's get her on. Hey, Afia.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going good. How are you? How have you been?
Excellent. I've been great. Thank you so much for asking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what's going on? Tell us who you are, where you're tuning in from, and what do you do?
Absolutely. My name is Afia Al-Faiz. I am the CEO of Underdog Millionaire. I am here in gorgeous, stunning Jacksonville, Florida. It is beautiful in these Floridian streets, everybody. It's gorgeous. And what we have going on is we just came from one of our Millie Club members had an event. A lot of you are familiar with a gentleman by the name of Mr. Michael Faber. We just went to the Unleash You event in Nashville. It was amazing. And we got to connect with a lot more people who are aligned with the vision that Underdog Millionaire has. And I'm super, super excited for everything that's coming in the future.
Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. And how was your time on the show?
It was great. So it was lovely being interviewed by you, because the times that we have spoken, I've always admired your attitude. I've always admired your perspective when it comes to women in business, and the story with your family and how you basically took your risk to do what you're doing because it's what you felt called and led to do is something that was extremely exciting. So to be on this show with you and to just share the things that are important to me energetically, not even about like business strategies or tactics, but just the energy behind everything was really refreshing when a lot of people tend to focus on the other things, like on the nitty gritties of business, when it's so much more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you bring so much value and perspective to the different topics that we talked about, which
Mhm.
were amazing because there's so many different vantage points that we all live by, right? And to hear other people's perspectives, you're like, oh, I've never thought of it that way. And then
Right.
you hear it and you're like, oh my God, you get those aha moments. And that's why you have to continue to have these opportunities, these conversations, these one-on-ones, and be able to use your platforms, right? Your social platforms that can get your voice heard. So thank you for all of that. We'll get right back to you. We're going to definitely bring on the next lady on my list here, and she has absolutely changed my life. When I launched my first book in January, I thought that was it. That's my first book. I don't know when I'm going to write a next one. I don't know what I'm going to do next, right? I want to build my event, launch my business, but we had a great time in Maryland at Jose's Triple Decker where I got to meet her, and I met her at the AMA event as well when I launched my book, but we were just so busy. We didn't have time to chat, but we had time to dance the floor away and just have a great time. And then we had a conversation, and it was just the time that she was building Warrior Women. And I already had my Ladies of Leadership group. She told me her vision and what she wanted to do, and I just knew I had to be a part of it. I'm like, I'm all in, and we have been running ever since, joining our communities and even having an event coming up this June 1st. So I'm going to show the flyer real quick before I get this beautiful soul on here. But this is life changing. This is how we are going to showcase how women can continue to grow together, lift each other up, empower each other, no questions asked, no competitions. And it is the heart of what we do. So without further ado, let me bring up this mastermind behind the Warrior Women series, as well as my sister, my friend, my everything, Desiree.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey, love, how are
Hey.
you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you so much for all that. That was amazing.
Absolutely.
My
Absolutely.
honor, girl. My honor.
Well, thank you so much for again giving me the opportunity to continue to spread my voice because of the co-authorship with you. I can now proudly say I'm a 6-time published author because it didn't stop after that. And we're actually creating 2 books in our community that you're a part of. And I'm just super excited that we continue to create these opportunities for our ladies. So tell us who you are, what you do, and where you're tuning in from.
Absolutely. We're in upstate, baby. And it is cold. It's supposed to be spring, but it's actually snowing outside and it's super cold. I'm actually closer to Canada than I am to New York City. People always get that wrong, but but I am actually from Jersey, which is so cool for me because this is really this event that we're doing is full circle for me because we're showing up back to Jersey, showing women what this looks like, no competition, pure empowerment. Like let's get in a room, let's make it safe, let's make it awesome, and let's grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, love, for joining us this evening. And before we go into our round of questions, I do want to highlight those that are watching online. Tony, we have Marilyn Morales, we have Ivy Perez. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tony says, we love having you there, Fico. Such a powerful presentation at last year's Online Business Mindset Mania. Ivy says, hi, Nikki, Yada, Fico, Desiree, and Afia. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share this. Please comment. Please subscribe. Do all those things because, yes, we hit 150, but we're well on our way to 200. So super excited about that. So I've been asking all of our guests, like, okay, you've been on the show. We've talked about what you were doing then, but what we're about to go into second quarter, and I'm too freezing here in Philly. We're about to go into quarter two. I usually ask, what does quarter two look like? But I'm going to ask you guys, how did quarter one look like? What happened in quarter one? Share, and then what does quarter two look like? Yada, you're up first.
What happened in quarter one? 1099, some tax season for me. I was really busy, good busy, not complaining, good busy, dealing and putting my clients up to date with their 1099 and all that good stuff. But aside from that, I've been working. Well, it's crazy because I would never thought of this ever, but I'm working in 4 different anthologies right now. And this led to writing my own book. Thanks to you, Nikki, to planting that seed. And each time I say this out loud, it's still so surreal to me because I would have never thought that I would be an author. Like OMG, right? It is scary, but at the same time, it's very exciting for what's ahead. And I know that I have the support of the ladies and all the people that are behind me supporting me throughout the journey because it's the first one for me. Never done it, but Palante, right? Like I always say. I'm also prepping to compete in the AMA speaking competition, which is next Saturday. Another one that I will never thought of because speaking in front of an audience has always freaked me out. But I just have to continue, moving forward, getting out of my comfort zone and and grow, right? Aside from that, I'm also working on creating trainings, kind of workshop style on QuickBooks Online and my vision is to show how to use the different features and how to navigate around QuickBooks, and of course, even covering a little bit about financial management and all that stuff for businesses and nonprofits, which is my niche. Um, so be on the lookout for that, and that's what I've been working on, what I worked on and working on towards for the next quarter and towards the end of the year, and a few other projects that I'm working on. But for now, that's what it is.
I am just so proud of you because I think we met in June. So our 1-year anniversary is coming up. We're going to see each other in May at the Global Summit, the CLA Global Summit. So I'm super excited about that. Now, again, just seeing your journey, like you're like, I don't put me on the spot. Like you're like, what are you gonna ask before I ask it? Like,
I was get ready.
But let me tell you, you have come such a long way, and you already knew your stuff. Like you already had that confidence in that. This new space is real, it's different, and you just stepped into it boldly and fearlessly. I just want to tell you. Just want to tell you. Thank you. So Fico, tell us, what did quarter one look like and what is quarter two gonna look like?
Okay, so I'm going to share this so everyone knows and grows hopefully about this and get this message. So quarter one didn't go as I wanted to. That's plain and honest. It didn't go. It didn't go well for me. A lot of pains, a lot of lessons learned. I'm new to this space and civilian side. I consider myself a pretty competent individual after 21 and a half years in the military leading soldiers. But this is a different space. There's a lot of sharks out there. It's like a minefield. You got to be careful where you walk to and where you're going to step on. And all the mistakes that I made in quarter one are going to make me a thousand times better. And I built a lot of great relationships in quarter number one that are going to be paying off in quarter number two. There's no doubt about it. So, I was sprinting, too much sprinting. And I'm a long distance runner, believe it or not. 25 pounds ago, I used to run for college. I had a scholarship for college for running cross country. That was 25 pounds ago. So I am a long distance guy. I'm gonna be there. But the way I approached this last year, eventually, it's been a whole sprint for me. And I needed to take a knee, regroup, reassess what I was doing, and go back to the basics, and leverage my strengths, basically. So that's what I did in the last probably month or so. Say that this needs to change because I'm going to go. This is bad. What's going on with me? It's a matter of knowing yourself and getting that slap in the face and look yourself in the mirror. You gotta slow down and regroup so you can get out of this issues stronger. So that's what I did. Took a knee, regroup with a couple of individuals that are in my best interest now and are helping me to succeed and will help me to get to where I wanted to be last year. So we're a little behind. I understand this is a marathon, not a sprint, and we'll get there. I got 2 anthologies coming up with Emilio. Hopefully launching my finally my podcast or YouTube channel, whatever. One of those two is going to happen. I have 2 coaches, but one of them is vicious. I'm telling you right now, this guy is gonna squeeze the juice out of me. He is vicious, and he's gonna get the best out of me. And I can wait to see what's going on in the next 4 months with under him. So, yeah, that's what's going on right now. And yeah, get in the right room, right place, and hopefully helping others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your transparency, your honesty, because this is the hot call. This is the honest, open, transparent call, because this is not easy. It's worth it, but it's definitely not easy. You have to be really in the game and learn who you are during the process,
Yeah.
and what you want to remove.
Let me tell you something, Nikki. There's a lot of people that are faking it behind the cameras.
Oh, yeah.
You can't. I don't fake it. If I struggle, I'm gonna let you know it's struggling. This is part of the process, part of growth.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. And there's nothing but upside here. I cannot come here and say, "Oh, quarter number one was amazing," and that. No.
Yes,
Okay.
it's real. It's definitely real. But once people can acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing it up, because again, it's not roses. It's real. We have to be real with ourselves first, and who cares about what everybody else is saying, right? Let's be real with ourselves, identify, take that knee, and I talk about it in a chapter in my book, and it's called Surrender. Sometimes you have to surrender to what you think is right and figure out what is the actual purpose. So kudos to you for embracing that, for doing the self-reflection, for figuring out what are the next moves and the next steps. But what I love that you did the most was that you kept building those relationships so that quarter two will pay off. Thank you for sharing that too, because even though in the funk, you still have to keep working. You still have to keep doing and building. So
you gotta keep moving forward. That's
absolutely.
You gotta keep moving forward.
Thank you so much for that, Afia. Talk about quarter one and what's up in quarter two.
Absolutely. Quarter one has been a whole vibe. I can't believe that we are pretty much at the end of it. So 2024 is not wasting any time and is moving at warp speed. So I would say quarter one has gone by really quickly. But it's been a great quarter for the Underdog Millionaire in terms of our growth, and in terms of us having a year of expansion where we are really honing in on the things that work and just doing more of that and doing less of the things that didn't work for us last year. Did you ask about quarter two, or am I just being psychic?
Yeah, quarter two. What's up in quarter two?
Oh, okay, because I thought my intuition was intuitioning right now. So quarter two we're kind of already there. So at the end of quarter two will be our next event, which is called the Outcomes and Breakthroughs Mastermind. So we are already thinking from that place, and just everything is aligning to it. We believe in beginning with the end in mind. So with that being something that we're projecting already is that being a really great event. Like it's almost as if we've already experienced quarter two and now we're just watching the movie of it because we've already set the intention that it's going to be a really, really great quarter. So I'm extremely happy. The sunshine doesn't hurt things at all. so I'm excited.
All good stuff. All good stuff. And yes, sometimes you have to plan ahead. I think
Absolutely.
my team is already into 2025 on some things that we're working on because it's that important. We're thinking about the end in mind and continuation and we're not stopping, and you're not going to get rid of BALM Global too quickly. So I love that we can continue to just build and believe that even if we're setting the intention today, that's what we're working towards. Absolutely. Because you have to have a mission to work towards. So thank you so much for sharing that. Des, what is up?
Hey. I just want to start by saying I was so refreshed to hear Fico. Like, I just thought that was so pure and so honest and so genuine and so authentic. And that was so refreshing to me to see someone up on here just being so authentic. So I just want to thank you for that. But for quarter one for us, it's just been incredible. So I did Warrior Women Series 1, Series 2, back-to-back, amazing women, really intentionally building my table of women, like the most intense I've ever been, right? Because I just didn't have it. I didn't have that women community that I really could lean into, learn from, grow with. So I spent a whole long year purposely building, purposely leaning in. So we did back-to-back 1 and 2, and it was just amazing. I grew the most that I've ever grown out of those 2 series while building my table. And then we did our speakers competition in Canada. And I want to tell you, I don't know if you guys have ever felt this before, but I felt very, very blessed to feel this. So in Canada, this happened to me because I was highly, highly discouraged before Canada. I thought to myself, it seems to be hard with people sometimes. And sometimes you can be discouraged from that. When you focus on human behavior, right? But when you actually put that aside and you stay focused on what you're called to do and what the mission is and how bigger it is than you, in Canada, I literally was overwhelmed. Like, it made me emotional, overwhelmed. I had to excuse myself and go to the bathroom, and I was overwhelmed by the emotions that I felt listening to their stories, listening to their speeches, listening to like their breakthroughs. I felt so called to exactly where I was in that moment. I've never felt that my whole life. And I got goosebumps. I got emotional. I excused myself, and I came in, and I was so proud of me and my husband. I was so proud of those speakers on that stage. And from that reassurance, I feel like I was whispered to. And it was like the second whisper I've gotten in a very short amount of time. And my dad had passed right before that event. And I do feel like sometimes we get whispers. We have things that are in our ear, like who to rock with, who to have in the room, what your mission is, how it's bigger than you. And from there, we took that same energy. I looked at my husband that night and I said, this is exactly where you should be. This is exactly where we should be. Look at these lives. Look at these speakers. Look how much has changed in our life. And we took that same energy to Tampa just recently. And you were there, Nikki, and you sponsored it, and you came and you got to see what Jesse and I do. And it's not even what Jesse and I do. It's more of like what we're called to do. We're just following the mission. And, has it changed a little bit? Yeah, it has. Have we learned from each event? We absolutely have. Are we continuing to learn and grow? Absolutely. But you know what? In Tampa, I literally had one of my dearest friends look over at me and say, Jessica Roman, she said, Des, what you and Jesse are doing here, it's not an event. It's like a movement. And this is something so special. And I just want to tell you that. And it was reconfirmed again like a whisper to me. And, you know, when you're leaving a room and you feel more fulfilled as the host than the people you had in that room, quarter one, quarter two, listen, quarter one, quarter two, my whole soul was fulfilled multiple times. I was reaffirmed multiple times that I was exactly where I should be. I'm forever going to stand in that. And I'm so thankful for that. And the day that I don't feel like that is the day that I'll stop. So the next quarter for quarter two will be our second international retreat in Italy. And I am so thankful to be able to show people that area. I don't know if you've ever been to Europe, Italy, Southern Italy. It's where my family's from. It's so personal to me, soul changing. And then the other retreat that we have coming right after Italy is Iceland. And Iceland also is just one of those places that if you've never been, it's like a whole different planet. And it's an opportunity for speakers to be able to, take speaking internationally and have a whole retreat experience in a place that is magical. So that's what quarter two looks like for me. I'm very excited. I've learned so much. You want to know what I've learned the most? Is that you have to focus on your calling because it's so much bigger than us and get all the other distractions out the way.
Absolutely. So much good stuff. I was actually supposed to be at Merge Worldwide speaking Mike's story last year in February, and my mom had her shoulder surgery, so she had a lot of treatment. I couldn't make it this year. In January, my mom had a fall and I thought I wasn't going to be able to make it, but luckily that everything came together and it was for that weekend. And thank Jessica for opening her doors. It was awesome spending time with her. But what I love most is that what you and Jesse have created in that room, like literally, I'm like, I had to like walk to the kitchen where Desiree was at, like, where are my tissues? Where are my tissues? Because let me tell you that these stories with anyone that has to overcome something, it's powerful. If you don't have a heart or a human, or you're not human, like, you're not going to get it. But because we're all human, we feel it and we can project. Like, I put myself in all those speakers' shoes. Like, what if that was me? How would I react? And just how you had the time set up. I love the first activity where you guys just laid and I actually talked about it yesterday on the live yesterday. So it would have been awesome for you to be on yesterday. About me switching the card, the pathway to the domino, and just creating the domino effect. And that's what I talk to give everybody 2 minutes or a minute or two to just describe what they see and how this particular card or picture makes them feel already gives them an opportunity to break the fear, the doubt that their story needs to be told. 1 minute, 2 minute stories was just as powerful as listening to their full stories. Let me just tell you. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I was glad to be there, glad to sponsor it. Definitely all about the mission and what we have coming up. So thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to go around the room. We're going to ask you to give us, what does leadership mean to you? Because this is building a leadership mindset. We all have been through some ups and downs through our journeys. We're still not finished. We haven't arrived. We may never arrive, and there's always room to grow. So as a leader in your respective lives, whether professionally, whether, with your family or anything like that, like, what does leadership truly mean to you? Yada. Give us about 30 seconds to a minute.
Oh my God, good question. So leadership, it's being able to guide someone, um, but at the same time without losing yourself and being um, transparent and and vulnerable in a way, right? But being that example and being able to lead someone, uplift someone without um, sometimes even getting that how you say that credit, right? As the Bible said that don't let your left hand know what the right hand is doing, right? Is being there, that support system and that support to someone else and guide them through their journey. Because sometimes when we do that, we grow ourselves, right? When we lead in somebody else, we also grow and we learn. So that's what I would say.
No, that's powerful. I've never heard that. Don't let your right hand know what your left hand's doing. I'm gonna have to go send me that verse for sure. It's so true. Um, to lead um with that in mind. So thank you so much for sharing that. Fico, you're up.
All right. So leadership, and I go by this. I'm a huge John Maxwell fan. I consider him one of my mentors. I'm probably going to meet him in a couple of months in person. So leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Simon Sinek says leaders have followers. Is having followers. Leadership starts from within. So you got to know how to learn. You lead yourself first. So it's the ability of influencing others, doing the right thing. You know, when you are, because people are going to do what they see. So, you know, leaders have followers. If you don't have followers, you're just a manager. So there's a lot of things that you can go around with leadership, but the main thing is that it's that ability of influencing others generally and guiding them to accomplish their 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 top version of themselves, their best version of themselves, developing others, helping others. That's what's leadership for me.
Yeah, absolutely. All of that and then some. There, it's just so it just blows my mind sometimes that we know what it is and we have all the ability and capability to run as a leader, and there's certain things that kind of we anchor to, whether it's the money, the bottom dollar, the transaction, the experience, even in doing all that, are you growing? Are you learning? Like, what is your true mission? Is it aligned with what you say it is? So that all of that is exactly what you said. So thank you so much for that.
Can I say
Yeah,
something else real quick?
yeah, absolutely.
So you work on corporate for a while, right? So
14
you
years,
think about
20.
in one hand, you probably can name a few leaders. The rest of them were managers, if you're lucky. So the ones that made an impact on you, that you actually recall, and they're still in your head, like, oh wow, X person made a difference. Those are the leaders. They're easy to spot because they will remind you of something positive, right?
Yeah.
The rest were managing you and squeezing the heck out of you. You need to do this. Just that's the code. Managing, manager, squeeze the juice. The bottom line. I want money, and this is it. That's not leading. That's
Yeah.
managing. So, yeah.
Nice point. That's like a mic drop right there. Absolutely. Managing and leading. Yep. So refreshing to just again hear different perspectives, different thoughts, and it's so thought provoking because you're like, what else can it look like, right? What else can you identify leadership? And there's so many ways, and there's also so many ways to say, hey, that is not what a leader does. That is not how a leader should act, because we got to pick those things too from those that we're calling mentors and coaches and that are not delivering on some of those things. So we have a right to interview them as well, just as they interview us. So even if you're in corporate, like if you want a business to work for and you are giving them your time, you can interview them as well. You can ask them, like, what are your goals for me? Like, what do you see me doing in this company? Do you see me moving up the ladder? Is that something that you guys do? Like, I wish I would have done that a long time ago, but all good stuff. Thank you, Fico, for that. Fia.
Hey, Okay. Can you repeat the question just so I'm clear on what the
Yes.
question?
Yes, love. What does leadership mean to you? What do you define leadership as?
Okay. So thank you. So to me, I define leadership as the ability to lead yourself. When I think about leadership, like the first thing that comes to mind is my faith and the ability to hear that voice and trust that voice, regardless of what everything else around me is saying, and blazing a trail for the people that feel inspired to follow this particular way of doing things. So leadership is very personal for me, because I think that you ever heard people say God doesn't call the qualified, God qualifies the called. And sometimes you don't always know how to step into that role. There's only so much preparation you can have, and you have uncertainties that you deal with. But that's part of being a leader, is creating those certainties, as opposed to just going with the status quo or going with all the things that you've heard. It's literally creating the path that other people are going to follow.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. Yes, create the path. If it doesn't exist, you have the power to create it. You lead first on your mission, and then those that follow, you bring them along with you. Don't leave anybody behind. If they want to stay behind, then that's their choice.
That's them.
But definitely allow the opportunity for growth together, because we can get there quicker. And if we can identify the strengths and weaknesses within our communities and see who has what we don't have, so that we can create the win-win opportunities and lead that mission. And I think as Desiree and I have merged on this, we have been leading this head on, communication high, constant connection, constant reaffirming that what we're doing is absolutely exactly what we're supposed to be. So Desiree, tell us what leadership means to you.
Yeah, such a great question. I was just thinking about this 2 nights ago, actually, when I was thinking about you and I, so I just want to say publicly, it's been an honor to get to know you way more than what I did prior, right? So more than just who you are as business, but who you are as a person, who you are behind this camera, all those things. And when I think about you and me, I think about heart. We're heart-centered leaders. We really are. I think I think in general we have that gift where we're heart leader. And I think that does a lot of different things. That guides people to healing. I really truly believe that's part of it. I think that we empower people. I think we call people to action. I think that we are producing healthy relationships and networking and getting people involved in relationships and learning about relationships and being the role model of what healthy relationships look like, and then getting it to be, in concluding, a transformation overall as a person. So a heart-centered leader is those kinds of things. That's what they do. They call people to healing. They call people for empowerment. They help people take action steps. They help them with their relationships. They model what relationships are, and they help transform them into the best version of themselves, and to help guide them in what they believe that can be the overall transformation for the better. So to me, that's what I look for, along with values. Are we aligned in values, right? So she said earlier, I'm a faith-based person. So to me, that's very, very important to me, And so when I think about leadership, who's going to lead me, and who am I bringing my business, who am I bringing my family to, and things. So we have to align and just, certain core values for it to make sense. Because then otherwise you're having someone lead you that doesn't even align with you. And that doesn't make sense. So that's where leadership is really important. I think as leaders, we have a responsibility to know who we should work with and who we shouldn't. And that if we don't feel like that this is a fit, then let me help guide you to somebody who is. Like, because it should align naturally, it should flow naturally. And if it doesn't, you should be guided to somewhere where it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just looking at the chats here. Ivy and Tony are blowing it up. Such a good, and when you shared what our core topic, that we need to bring this all home for our June 1st event, I'm like, that is so us. That is so what we want to deliver. We want to deliver the opportunity to heal. We want to be able to continue to empower. And you know what? I'm not going to say we want, because we're doing it already. We're helping people take action. We are definitely building those authentic relationships that are aligned with our mission. And we're looking for everyone to transform in the process, because we're going to continue to transform as we're transforming others. And you guys know that my tagline for BALM Global is building women leaders globally. And we can't be great leaders if we're not building other great leaders. Period.
That's right. Yep.
Period. So this has been amazing. Now that I have you all on, and before we get to the last question, I just want to publicly again thank you. Thank you for bringing your wisdom, your perspectives, your stories onto the BALM Global podcast platform. We absolutely love and adore you. All continue to do great work in this world. Be that change. Continue to be that movement. My last final questions is, how do we get a hold of you? How can people reach you? And then give us one power word that drives you each day. Just one word, a power word. Yada, you're up.
Yes, absolutely. So you can reach me in Facebook. I go by exactly how my name is showing, Yara N. Ortiz. I can also drop in my link tree in the chat. Um, and one word will be resilience. I will say resilience because, oh my God, what was I going to say? I lost track of what I was going to say.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. It is
Resilience.
okay. 'Cause I
You
get
need to be resilient
Go ahead.
because because life, life is not a straight line. Life can throw you a lot of curveballs, and you need to have that resilience to keep moving forward and focus in what you have in your why, what's your mission, what's your calling, as Desiree said, right? Focus on your calling and continue to move forward, and having that resilience that when you feel like um, just uh, just not moving, when you feel like quitting, that's the word I'm looking for. When you feel like quitting, just remember and focus and continue pushing forward. And of course, we have to have our support system because we can do things alone, right? So resilience and perseverance and just continue moving forward.
Awesome. I love that word. And girl, let me tell you, I'd be forgetting. I'd be in the middle of a thought. I'd be like, oh, what was I saying? Like, what was the
Oh
whole
my
point of
God.
this? So no apologies
We
necessary.
are live, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it. But resilience is so true. And you know what? When you have resilience, that is how you develop your story of overcoming. When you can build that resilience, that when anything is thrown at you and you can just have it bounce off of you and still keep moving because you're on a mission, it can't stop you. You become unstoppable. So thank you for that word. Oh, gave me chills. Nico, you are up. Tell us, how can we get a hold of you and your power word?
So you can get a hold of me, below my name right there. That's some of my social media. Same thing, Federico I. Martinez on those three social platforms. And then LinkedIn is the same thing, Federico I. Martinez without the dot after the II. So power word, I'm going to say, it's a combination of the two words. So I'm going to put it like this. It's God, and 2/3 of that word, go. So you got to have God. He's going to lead you to go whatever you want to. Don't stop. So 2/3 of that word is go. And keep that in mind, and constantly gritting everything that comes your way. I'm telling you, there's no quitting. Like I said, it's a marathon. Going back to your topic about not doing this alone, we were never gonna reach the best version of yourself by yourselves. There's a limit to all of us. And that's why collaboration is the new currency. You got to be in rooms where there's a lot of people influencing you that have been there, done that, that have been where you want to go, so you can maximize your potential. And then you turn around and teach others what you did. By developing others and teaching others, you grow even 1,000 times more. So, yeah.
Oh my goodness. God and go. What? I love that. I'm even just like putting love in the chat with all those O's, because that was just powerful. I've never seen it that way. See, sometimes our answers are right in front of us, and there's very creative, intuitive people that can identify those things. So when they do and they spotlight that, I just have to give them like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. And we may have learned it from someone else, or we may have created it ourselves. But the fact is that we're paying attention, and that is what we're using to keep going. Love it. Thank you so much for that, Fico. Afia, you are up.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I love what you shared, Fico. That was awesome. So the way I'm most active on Facebook, my name sounds like it's spelled how it sounds, I think. So it's AFIYA. If you search for that first name, I'm probably going to come up somewhere in the other ones in the world, but I'm probably going to come up. And my word for the year is expansion. And by expansion, the way that we've defined it is doing what works, abandoning what doesn't, and having the awareness to know the difference. You have mentioned my partner, Dr. Obam. We run into a lot of people who we are growth minded, and we teach how to have a growth mindset. And sometimes when people are not ready to grow, they will backtrack and abandon what they were doing in the first place for whatever their reasons are. A lot of times when people are starting to understand how much work is required to get to the goal that they're going for, they start to make excuses, and the ones that sound really, really good are the ones that are the most sinister. So the reason that we choose the word expansion for this year, the reason that I'm choosing the word expansion for this year, is because we have to abandon the mindsets that don't serve us. It's not just the action, it's the very train of thought that's not serving us, that we have to abandon and affirm for the things that we want in our future, if that future is to come about. And if we are really serious about what we want, and if we are really, really committed to what we say that we want, we will affirm for that thing and do whatever it takes under any circumstances to get it. And so that is something that has driven me for a long time. And I'm so glad that it's a theme for this year, because I'm keeping that same energy all 2024. So thank you so much for having me, Nikki. I appreciate you. And I think what you're doing is really powerful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Afia. Yes, absolutely. Expansion. You can't abandon the mission, because there's a reason why you were given that download, that reason. But you definitely have to make sure that, again, going back to what Desiree said, alignment is huge when it comes to how you're going to move forward. So awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Desiree, you are up. How can people get a hold of you?
So also my name on Facebook, and then Instagram is the same thing. And it's funny because we just did the word of the year in our family. We do it every year with our kids around the table. And mine for this year is discernment. So I literally just wrote it. I wish I would have brought it up, because we literally just did this activity like 2.5 weeks ago with my kids. And I did it very simple, and I did it, but it was so simple, but it was so deep, right? Like, because that's just who I am as a person. And what I did was I put a heart, and then I did pink and red, and then I did like this like little squiggly thing underneath of it in blue. And what I told my kids is that I have to align what is right with my heart and my mission, with my values, because this is like it's not just a business, it's a real family, it's a real marriage. Like, this is how I feed my kids, right? So I have to do what is aligned with my heart. And if I feel like in my heart that there is some kind of misalignment, then I feel like it's got to go down the river. So I literally did this like little blue thing all the way down underneath the word discernment. And then I put a little heart next to the river, because I really truly believe that when it is aligned with you, you don't have to question. You're not wondering and then having anxiety about if it is working, because it just flows smooth like a river so naturally. And I'm so corny.
You are not corny.
I'm just a big cornball. Like, that's just what I am. But because it's so simple, but it's so deep. And I told my kids, listen, if anything, like, align yourself with people who just naturally flow. Just naturally flow. We don't have to fake, perform, have people clapping. Like, you don't, like, it just should be so naturally sown and so naturally flowing. And so discernment is definitely mine. I'm learning to get better at this, because I think as a heart-centered leader, sometimes it gets taken advantage of, because you want to see the best in everybody. Like, I generally want to see the good in everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that can be a weakness as a leader, because not everyone is for you. And so now I'm starting to get more okay with that. It's okay. I'm not for everybody. Everybody's not for me. And what I need to do is I need to really start being very, very intentional about creating relationships with people who just flow so naturally, So discernment is mine.
I'll take it. I love that whole visual that you painted, and everything about me is simple. It's just, let's get it done. This is how it should be, or whatever. Like, let's get to the point and let's take the action and get results. So I love that, that you guys did it as a family, one, because I don't even do it with my family, but I'm gonna have to kind of make them do it, because I want to see what that word would be. So I'll keep you posted on that. But thank you all so much. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you back on. Stay connected. Continue being amazing. Continue supporting your communities and building and creating, and any way that BALM Global can help, definitely reach out. I absolutely love each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for continuing to watch and support and tune in to what we're doing here. Again, we're not going anywhere for a very, very long time. As long as God has me here on this earth, we are going to continue to spread the empowering and inspiring messages that those that come across my path, and bringing them here, using this platform for the good of growth, of hope, of everything that I can think of. I can, go through the whole dictionary of how much we have the power to change it. And when we do it together, it's amazing. So doing things like this, where we're reconnecting and just continuing to spread the word, is what I will continue to do. But you guys have been amazing. Thank you for, again, bringing your wisdom, your stories. 150 episodes and counting. We are closing out tomorrow with our last few guests. Definitely tune in. Put your notify me on. Push that bell. Continue to get updates. We actually have a whole week long of content that we're about to put out for some of the new guests in the next 50 episodes. Absolutely love you guys. Have a great night, and definitely connect with each and every one of these beautiful souls. You never know what's going to happen, because magic happened with all of us. So I'm just saying, have a great one. Enjoy your day. And as I always say, make it count. Bye.
Bye.